Three, two. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Miss Chelsea French with our Injustice interview. Miss Chelsea has been battling diabetes for a lot of years now, and currently she just came out of open heart surgery about 3 weeks ago.
Last month, yes.
Last month. And
I've been diabetic since I was 13. I am now 34. I will be 35 in September. Um, so I've been battling type 1 diabetes since that young age. When I was 29, my kidneys failed, and I've been on dialysis now, going on 6 years. Um, I am currently on a transplant list at VCU to get a kidney and a pancreas, so I would no longer have the diabetes or the renal failure. In the midst of that, I had past couple of months, I had situations where I went to the ER. I was coughing up blood clots. I was turned away from the hospitals and was accused of coming there for drug seeking. And these are some local hospitals here in the Hampton Roads area. And this went on for 3 months. I was coughing up humongous blood clots. They were just telling me it was a blood thinner that I was on, which was not true. I had endocarditis in one of my heart valves, and I had taken an antibiotic for it. The hospitals assured me once I finished it that I was no longer suffering from that infection, which was not true. So by the time we got to this most recent stay, they had to transfer me to VCU. My heart valve was leaking blood and it was filling blood up in my lungs. That's why I was coughing up those clots. It wasn't because of a blood thinner. I feel that if they would have did their due diligence and don't always think that you're coming there for drug seeking purposes, they probably would have paid more attention to what was really the issue. I wasn't coming there for drug seeking or to be medicated. I wanted to know why I was coughing up these humongous blood clots for so long. By the time they took that valve out, it was depleted. I have a mechanical valve now in my chest. You know, they weren't able to grow anything from those cultures. So the infection was there still, even though I was told it was gone. I still had endocarditis. It wasn't gone. So the malpractice, I have to do something. It's worrisome, it's tiresome going to these ERs and you getting turned away because you need help. And then people don't look at you as needing help, that you're there for some other type of reason. To get high or whatever. I understand some people do that, but that was not my situation. They don't look at my past, my medical history, anything. They just come in. Some of them won't even examine me. First thing they say when they walk in the room, they don't ask me how I am. The first thing they say is, "You're not getting any narcotics." Don't ask me why I'm there for anything. They don't get a pulse, listen to my lungs. They don't do anything. They won't even sometimes come out of the doorway. That's the first thing they say when they enter in a hospital room, in the ER. It really does discourage anybody, even myself, to want to go there and get any help. Because of the situation with my heart, I have been made inactive on my transplant list. I've had 14 offers for kidney pancreas transplant since Thanksgiving of last year. I wasn't able to get them because the pancreas was not healthy. They want to do both organs from the same donor. So I've had 14 offers. Now, because of this situation with the malpractice and them not doing what they needed to do in these ERs and at these hospitals that I went back and forth to for 3 months, now I got to wait additional time. This has to clear up before I can even made active again on my kidney pancreas transplant. This is putting another halt on my recovery. this is no way I want to live. I've been doing this 6 years, going on 6 years. I'm 34. I don't have any children. I don't do anything like that. I deserve more, and I don't deserve to be treated like that at these hospitals. I'm just asking for help, because when I do get my transplant, and I say it when, because I am going to get it, just to obtain the organ, you have to have almost $3,000 a month for anti-rejection drugs. My Medicaid and Medicare, it only covers for 1 or 2 years. After that, it has to be out of pocket. And even prior to that, even though they cover it, those transplants facilities, the hospital won't. I need to have proof that I will be able to maintain the transplant. They're not going to give it if I don't have the money to have my anti-rejection drugs. I can't miss a dose. If I do, those organs will reject. So I just ask for help. If you find it in your heart, if you have anybody that's going through it, it's not easy. My main support system is my mother. I'm 70 years old, and I'm telling you, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. Even with this recent hospital stay with my heart, those doctors wanted her to leave. I had to fight for my mother to stay with me, because they weren't checking my blood sugar, and sugar below 30. And they weren't scheduled to come in and see or check or do anything on me. If my mom was not in there, I would have died. Like, she is my support system. My father just passed away 2 years ago. And
tell them what happened when she did leave you in the room.
Oh, when she did?
Tell what happened.
This was right after my surgery. I had a breathing tube down my throat. And it was like 8 a.m. This is at VCU. They told my mom she had to leave. I was supposed to have a nurse babysitter there. They call it a babysitter. They sit in there the whole time. And this breathing tube, I have a very high tolerance where anesthesia and those type of things don't last on me. And I was awake. They had my hands strapped to the bedposts. I was totally refrained. I couldn't move my arms. And I was choking. I was vomiting. But I had a breathing tube down my throat. So I couldn't make any noise. I had to get enough slack to try and bang on the bars of the bed. And those nurses, they were in the hallway laughing, talking about what they were doing the weekend. She came in there, and the respiratory nurse said, "Stop being dramatic. Stop fighting the tube." And I'm sitting there with tears in my eyes because I'm choking. And they wouldn't let my mom. If my mom was in there, that would never have happened. That nurse was not supposed to leave me unattended, and she did. Not to have, if they do leave, they have to have somebody come and recover, take their place while whatever they have to do, use the bathroom. None of that was done. I was sitting there. I suffer from claustrophobia, so me being restrained was it was a lot of anxiety I was having.
Triggered.
But yeah, it triggered me. Definitely triggered me. And the fact that they're like, just stop being dramatic. Like they just had their chest opened up. I just had my heart valve taken out of my body, and I got a machine in me now. It's metal. I have a card I got to walk around with to go through metal detector. This one they say it doesn't have to be replaced. This type of valve I got, they did offer me to have another one, which was made from pig skin. I did not go with that one. That one you would have to have replaced every 5 to 10 years. So I did go with the mechanical valve. But all this, the issue been